should have worked with him more. Mm-hmm. But he would always say, like, you're not eating enough. And I would always be like, dude, come on. I'm eating so much. You don't understand. You don't see what I'm eating. But in reality, looking back on it, I could have been eating so much more. I could have been squeezing in meals, you know? And I wouldn't even say it's not because I wasn't working hard. I thought I was working really hard, but it's all about perspective. So it's good to involve somebody who knows more than you because they can tell you, like, listen, man, I really believe you're trying. I know you feel sick. I know you don't feel like eating this meal, but you can do more. And you physically have to stretch your stomach. That was the craziest part for me to wrap my head around. Once you stretch your stomach, and I believe it's a mental part of it too, once you can get over, like, this is a quantity that I can handle, let's push it a little bit. It's the same thing you're doing in the weight room, but it's just in the kitchen. So the most effective bulk I had was between my junior and my senior year in college. I went from 211 pounds in May to 226 pounds by the time I went back to school in August. And my numbers blew up in the weight room. I was, obviously, there's no way, I don't even know what percentage of muscle it was. I felt good. I was heavier. I was moving weight. It was good for throwing shot and stuff like that. But the quantity of food I needed to eat to do that was disgusting. Like, force feeding yourself. And I had it good because the job I was working at, I was doing a lot of manual labor, and I worked for an engineering firm where I was doing mapping. So I was walking like 8 to 10 miles a day. That's all really good stuff. Like,
I want to say this real quick and keep going. If you are bulking, there's 2 reasons you need to do cardio. The main reason is for your heart health. Mm-hmm. You should go on walks. I would say at least 4 times a week. I walk every single day. Just for my heart, 10, 15 minutes. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going to do, just do it. You're going to have to eat more because of that, but it's not that deep. You're walking, sir.
Yeah. Just get the feet moving.
Just get them moving. And secondly, it'll boost your appetite. So there will be times where I don't want to eat, where I don't feel like doing anything. I just had a huge meal. I don't care. I'm going to go on that treadmill, or I'm going to go outside. I will walk for 15 minutes, and I'll be hungry in the next half an hour.
Yeah.
And it'll make me want to eat. So please for your heart.
Yeah.
You can keep going.
Walking, that is another great little Worthington nugget of information here. Walking is my favorite way to do cardio. I hate running.
Yeah.
I can't stand
I like cardio. I'm a different breed.
He's good at it. And swimming, not a strong swimmer.
Jesus
Christ. I would not survive in the water for very long. So I
can
stick to land. Mm-hmm. Barely. It's not impressive, but I can stay afloat.
I can barely swim, bro.
We should do that together.
Yeah, that'd be a thing we should get into.
Yeah.
Because I've drowned like 5 or 6 times. Not real drowning. More of like...
This is the ghost of Kenya. You've been dead for years.
When I get into a pool... And please finish your thought. I know you wanted to get through with that. We'll just keep it moving.
I forget what I was going to say. Sorry.
When I get into a pool, I always feel safe because I have my roommate with me, Cedric. And
you can stand all the way in the...
First of all, he's 6'6", so not too much is going to go wrong. But secondly, he knows I'm not a strong swimmer, or I can barely swim. So he always has an eye on me. I remember I was in the Dorney Park wave pool, and I'm having fun, and I got a little bit too deep, got to the point when the waves were too strong. I couldn't tread water anymore. I got tired.
That's okay.
Then says this, like, I got to go get him. He gets me every time, so I don't have any fear when I'm with him. But yeah, I gotta learn how to swim.
We should do that.
I gotta get on that.
They wouldn't laugh at us as much if it was 2 of us.
I know. What they gonna say? This is why you're jacked, so you can fight everyone.
The swimming instructors. It's probably gonna be some little old lady.
Oh god.
Oh shit. Well, so cardio. Mm-hmm. Walking is really good. The benefit of walking, like Kenny said, it's good for your heart. It'll increase your appetite. So if you eat a big meal and you go for a walk, you'll be able to eat a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that's all really good stuff. So the benefit of where I was working at, it was a lot of walking, it was a lot of standing, a lot of manual labor. So that would make me hungrier. So throughout the day, you can get in an abhorrent amount of calories. But you can't do that if you're just sitting. So like you have to be realistic too with your caloric needs. My goal for that summer was to put on a pound a week. And I did that. I didn't really know how to count calories. Still, I know, like, I feel like I could learn how to do it, but I've never really had to do it. You really have to do that.
Yeah, when I'm bulking, I really don't count calories like that.
Yeah.
I weigh myself. This is crazy. I don't recommend this, but I'm very detail oriented when it comes to this. So I'm weighing myself in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I weigh myself at night. Those will be two different weights, my people, because you are
Right.
lighter in the morning.
Should be.
And you should
Yeah.
use the bathrooms before it gets. It's a consistent scale of like that's when I do it, so I know it's
Yeah.
always accurate.
Yeah.
And if I don't gain weight in 2 weeks, I'm just gonna add 250 calories or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and keep going
That's
like
a
that.
good-
That's
yeah.
the only way I do it. I don't really count because I'm stuffing my face, bro. Like
You can only
It doesn't really-
You can only do so. Yeah. What's the point at that point?
Yeah.
And I was a little bit different. I only weighed myself once a week because I felt like it was too much to weigh myself every day.
yeah,
And my goal was 1 pound a week, so I weigh myself once a week. On my day off, I'd wake up and weigh myself. So, but to get to that point where you know you need to put on weight and you have to do whatever is necessary, like
mm-hmm.
I wasn't counting calories either. I wasn't tracking anything. We were still in college, so I was living at home, and I would just tell my mom or dad to just pack me another lunch.
yeah,
So they would pack my lunch for me in the morning. I would eat it. Then you start adding stuff in. So I still wasn't putting on weight, whatever. I'd add a shake in. Now I only put on half a pound. I'd add another shake in. Like
yeah,
you can take it to the point, but again, your stomach kind of has to stretch. Like I remember nights, like literally would roll over and feel like I was gonna throw up. Just wake up. Like that's not good. And I would say the normal
Yeah.
person doesn't have to do that. I needed to put on that weight for throwing. I wanted to have a big year for throwing. I did exactly what I was supposed to do weight wise, and then due to some other stuff, I didn't throw that good my senior year. But I did better than I would have if I hadn't done it.
Yeah.
And that made me feel validated. So again, tying this back to training with a purpose and bulking with a purpose, if you know why you're bulking, you know how much weight you want to put on.
you have to have a goal. You have to know where you're going.
You can easily get carried away with the bulk as well.
Yeah.
And for Kenny's line of work, you have to know how much weight, because like the whole thing with throwing is like the whole fat and fast thing.
Yeah.
You put on a certain amount of weight, right? But it's not like to the pound. For Kenny, if he's putting on more weight than he needs to gain a certain amount of muscle, it's just more work for him in the future.
Yeah.
Because he has to shed that weight for a show. So that's when you really have to get down to the nitty gritty of like, what do I want to do and how do I want to do it? And that's
Time frames. You have to know like by when.
Yep.
If there is no by when, you're basically reading a map with no destination.
Right.
And I think a lot of people do that. They just kind of just bulk willy-nilly. If you need a timeline, and we take our bulks kind of more seriously. At least you did in the past, and I'm taking it pretty seriously right now.
Yeah.
And that's because I compete. Like
Right.
I'm forcing my face in doing this because I want to win. I am a winner.
Yep.
That's in my mindset. I want to be the best I possibly can be. But for the younger generation, if let's say you're in high school or something like that, you can take this way slower. Maybe you're not ready to force feed. That is fine, my friend.
There's no.
You don't gotta be doing that.
You're still growing and stuff.
They got growth hormone just because they're going to sleep. Like
Yeah.
it's like
You're good.
You're going through puberty. You don't really need to bulk that seriously. But it's like, and you can attest to this. I'll text Adam because we think it's funny. But I'll text him like, "Yo, I just threw up my spaghetti. Are you proud of me?" And
I'll be like, too much information, Ken. But you're doing great.
And that's what comes to like, and I don't like throw up everything, but it gets a point where you're gonna put that last spoonful in,
Yeah.
and your body's saying no, and you are going to reject everything that's in your mouth at that point in time.
But why are you doing that?
First of all, when I do that, I know that I'm gonna gain weight next day.
Exactly.
Second of all, because I am going to be a champion, sir.
Right.
Like
That's all you need. So
Yeah.
to get to that point, would Kenny be force feeding himself spaghetti if he didn't want to be a champion?
absolutely not.
No. If he was, would we hold an intervention for him? Absolutely. So
To clip this.
you have to have that mindset. And
Yeah.
also, would Kenny be doing that if he was putting on the weight he needed already? No. You just figure out what you want to do and do it. If you're not training with purpose, eating with purpose, sleeping with purpose, there's no point. You're wasting your own time.
Doesn't make
essentially.
sense. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And for most people, like, you kind of don't want to be like over 230 pounds. Like I think it's not.
Yeah.
You're not gonna feel good, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's if you're training for general wellness and health. I mean, I don't know how much BMI is actually accepted.
That's cap.
Yeah, because they'll tell you you're over 6 feet tall and you crack 190 and they're like, oh, you're obese.
That's not me. Not even
so.
close.
But there is something to be said about like being conscious of your weight. If you're not training to be competitive and you just want to look a little better, it might be in your mind like I want to get big, But if you getting big is actually just you kind of looking a little sloppy,
Mm-hmm.
if you're cool with it, that's fine. And you like the numbers you're putting in the weight room, good. As long as you're healthy, or you're making a plan to become healthy in the future, and it's a strength building phase.
Yeah.
All for it. But again, if you're not training for anything, I'm a firm believer that your health should probably be the priority.
It has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
And notice how, like, when we talk about this stuff, we're talking about force feeding, like crazy bulks and putting on a lot of mass. Notice how before we even got into this, we said clean bulks.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do a clean bulk and you're eating this much food, heart attack,
You're gonna
clogged
look gross.
arteries, like there are some issues here. No, this is why I eat handfuls of spinach every meal.
Right.
First of all, it's good for digestion. Second of all, it has to be clean, bro. Like, I can't go to Wendy's every day. Yes, I'm gonna get bigger faster, but
Maybe, yeah, but to what point? Like, again, you're a bodybuilder and you're going to Wendy's every day and stuff like that.
That don't even make no sense.
No, like, I don't, that's the one side of it that I don't really understand too much. Like, I understand if you're, like, I don't know how this works as much. I've never done steroids before, but you see all these guys that are juicing, and they're like, oh, I gotta eat 30,000 calories. Like, something stupid like that. Like, the Michael Phelps diet. Like,
How did he do that?
Dude, I think he was like swim for like 8 to 10 hours a day or something stupid.
So that does make
sense.
So
that's calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
So the reason why Kenny needs to eat 6,000 calories or whatever you're eating.
Not even close.
Something like, what is it? We're eating like 4 or 5?
32, 33.
Oh my God. Okay, so
I'm doing this slowly, bro. I don't need to.
Yeah, but that's exactly right. Like, why aren't you eating 6,000 calories? Because you're just gonna get fat.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to work it off in the future.
Yeah.
I was eating in the 5,000 to 6,000 calorie range.
You got to 6, bro.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. I needed to hit. It didn't start. I started off around like I didn't track calories. I just did like a rough estimate the one day. The beginning of summer I was around like 45-ish or something like that, and then towards the end of the summer it was like 6. Because I was walking 8 to 10 hours a day in the summer. I would go right.
And that makes more sense. The walking, dude, that's a whole. I'm not doing all that, bro. Like,
yeah. So it was. Our net calories might have been closer to 4. Maybe I just needed. That's probably what it was actually.
Yeah.
I probably needed to add those extra calories into account for the extra walking.
Because I don't think you're gonna get big without. For you at least, you got to go to 4,000. Like,
I
know it's about.
I just
4,000.
needed to I needed to start somewhere. That's where I needed. I wanted to put on weight.
Yeah.
And that's how I needed to do it. But like Kenny's saying, for the average person, to fill that void with fast food and like processed stuff. You might get heavier quicker. You probably will get heavier quicker because it's easier to digest in some senses. You metabolize it a little bit faster than whole foods. That's when you're processing foods, you're taking that portion of it out, sort of. Yeah. So in that sense, it makes sense. Like all this stuff with extra salt and that stuff, you're going to retain more water, so you're going to get heavier. So I'm thinking like to myself, if I'm a freshman in high school and you're like, you're 130. I think I was like 128 pounds. And I was like 130 by the end of the year, freshman year in high school. Yeah. And somebody was like, you got to get to 150. I might have been like, let me go to McDonald's every day. And you see the number on the scale going up. And you're like, yeah, this is awesome. At the end of the day, you're just getting fat. So that's a slippery slope too. So keeping it as close to whole foods as you can. And then working in some of that stuff, just to get you over the hump.
And at least go to Chick-fil-A. Have some self-respect. Don't sit here and go to McDonald's when Chick-fil-A exists. I mean, let's make an honest decision here if you want to bulk. And I go to Chick-fil-A. That's not the majority of my diet. I'll go to Shake Shack. Mm-hmm. Damn it, I go to Five Guys. But it's not everything.
The majority of your diet isn't that.
It's like 30%, 20% of it is these better chains than what these weird people are going to, like McDonald's. I really hate McDonald's if y'all haven't noticed this. McDonald's. You eat McDonald's, bro?
Sometimes.
Come on, dude.
I just like it. But there is a lot of I would say more healthy alternatives.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, I think I just pissed off our guest. Did you see Super Size Me? Mm-hmm. Dude, after watching Super Size Me,
it's not. I can admit it's not good for you. I just like to eat it.
That's fine. That's fine.
In moderation.
Yeah,
but
he eats well. I know what he eats. I watch them. Don't worry.
I try my best, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of really good alternatives. Like if you're trying to put on weight and you're force feeding stuff, or you maybe don't like to cook for yourself, or you're trying to squeeze in extra meals, like even getting Chipotle, like working in some rice and protein and stuff like that. That's really good and
amazing.
I think if you make your staple the staples of your diet as simple as possible, and like pick good healthy whole foods, you really can't go wrong with that. And then you can just sort of fudge the calories to fit your goals. So
Definitely.
if you're putting on weight and you don't want to be putting on weight, you can decrease the quantity of stuff, or you can pick more nutrient dense foods that are, less calorically, and you can see what fills you up and what feels good. Yeah. But when we're talking about gaining weight, which is something neither of us have really been in a position where we've had to lose weight. I think I was more than you. Like for the past year, I wanted to try to lose weight after my college bulk and stuff.
Yeah, I only really cut, but
well,
the majority of the year it's gaining weight.
You've never had to lose like 30 pounds,
never,
20, 30
never
pounds,
in my
right?
life.
Because,
Never.
but again, you never let it get that far.
Yeah,
and that's part of the strength of knowing how you're training.
Yeah.
So that's all really good stuff. So.
Yeah. But we're gonna cut it there. I think we're gonna have you back on because we didn't really get to cover everything we want to talk about. But this was amazing. I think what you had to say is gonna help a lot of people. So thank you for coming through, bro. I really appreciate it. Absolutely. And I really enjoyed this, man.
This was fun.
This is awesome, dude.
Thanks.
Episode 2 is done. Let's go.